Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Prospect Trust RTC. This is session 5 of Everyone Can Create with music today. This is the one that everybody's frightened of. You shouldn't be frightened of it because it's actually quite straightforward. My name is Mark Moran. I am the head of ICLT for the Prospect Trust. I'm an Apple Professional Learning Specialist, and I help and support all areas of the trust and schools to integrate iPads specifically into learning. And behind me, I've got these two loonies. There they are.
Hey guys, I'm Stu Young. I'm one of the heads of year here at Thomas Go School. I'm a Google educator and I'm also an Apple teacher. I support our staff and our students in engaging with technology in the learning as much as possible. We're also joined by Elsa.
Hello, I'm Elsa Rehal. I'm a Year 3 teacher at Frimley. I lead computing in my school, and part of my job is to think about how we can enhance our teaching and learning through the use of technology. I'll hand you back.
It's very exciting. Look at this. We're trying something new today, ladies and gentlemen, so we'll see whether or not it's better. It might be less stressful for me and everybody else. Then we've only got one device on. Anyway, today, what we're doing, so we've got some music workshop tasks. We've got music classroom tasks for you to go away and do over the course of the week. And we're going to talk you through all of this evening, which is very exciting. Right, so music. So the whole point of music in, oh, it's all gone mad. It's just, I don't know why it's doing that. So what I want you to think about using music, in particular GarageBand. You don't need to be a musician to do any of this at all. I am a musician, just to put that out there. But
I'm definitely not.
And I'm definitely not either.
Yeah, but both of them have used GarageBand really, really well. So actually, what's quite exciting about this is that if you've got that, if you can just think a little bit creatively, it works really well. So I'm just going to take you through one activity today, but we're going to break it down into a few little chunks for you. So for today's session, the only thing you need is the mighty GarageBand. And GarageBand can do so much. Okay, it is really just about you just trying to work out what it is you want to do. And Elsa's going to show you what Year 3 have been doing with GarageBand later on. So if Year 3 can do it, then so can you. Right, so the whole point of today's session is to turn that pupil voice into something so much more expressive. I think what music does, what sound does, it allows us to be transported to a moment in time. I've got pieces of music that I remember from holidays, being a tiny small child doing things that I can remember. When you listen to an audiobook, you often have music that goes along with it. Films, there are very few films out there actually that don't have music running all the way through it, and it brings the whole thing to life. And what we're going to do is looking at how to record your voice, then give you the skills to be able to edit that, move it around a little bit, add some loops, and make sure the sounds that you're choosing fit with the sounds that are going on in your story. So you can find all of this on chapter 1 of the Everyone Can Create iPad Guide for Music. You don't need to be able to play an instrument. That was the first thing I said to you. And I know that you don't believe me, but I really do mean it. You don't need to know anything about it. The only thing you need to know is how to speak. And most of us can do that, which is quite good. Even Stu can do that. Yeah, he can.
Honest.
Yeah. He's there, yeah.
I definitely can speak. And it was something that we used as part of our ADS application as well. I actually created something using GarageBand for the PE department where we were telling a story about our journey with technology. And we put music to it and we made it a little bit more creative than just us having a conversation. But we created our own podcast, which is just voices and a little bit of music.
Yeah,
which was cool.
Yeah, it's quite nice. So with GarageBand, you can do all of that. You can record your voice, add sound effects, add music, build a podcast, create a news report. So some of you might remember the BBC news report. So is it news report? I can't remember what it was. I used to do that in a previous existence, and actually it was a really cool thing to do. But actually, I think this is where GarageBand means using it on an iPad means that the children can do it straight off by themselves. So everything is in the book that we'll go through tonight, and more. So without further ado, let's look at this. So what we're going to look at today is recording your voice. So we're going to set up a GarageBand file, we're going to record something into that, and then I'm going to give you a few little techniques. Are you ready to go? Right, here we go. Right, I'm just going to change cameras over here a little bit, switch my iPad on with a bit of luck, and then, I want this over here. Not that one. Oh. There we go. I'm there. Right, okay. So first things first, we need to open GarageBand. So if you don't have GarageBand on your iPad, then you need to download it. Most of us do. So top tip on your iPad, just pull down with your finger and then it appears and the search appears and you can just type in GarageBand and there we've got GarageBand. Oh, so I've got one. Here's one I prepared earlier. So just let me play this for you. This is Elsa playing the piano.
It was the beginning of December and Peppa and her family were decorating their Christmas tree. Peppa pulled a decoration from the Christmas box.
It's the prickly cactus Daddy got when monster trucking in America.
She cried. And here's the flamingo from our summer holiday, said Daddy Pig.
Oh, what lovely memories,
said Mummy Pig, smiling.
Okay, so you get a bit of an idea. So we've got a narrator at the top. We've got some samples that I'm going to show you how to use today. We've got some little sound effects in there, and we've got some music. Now, I think if you're doing this, less is more. Children love putting loops into their GarageBand compositions, but what I find is that they add far too much and it all gets a bit too exciting. So here we go. I'm going to start a new GarageBand file. So I'm going to click the little file up on the top. And as you can see, I've got quite a few. I'm going to press plus on the top right. Let's see if we can get that. There we go. See if the camera will pick that up. Oh, yes, that's lovely. Right, the first thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to scroll along until I find the audio recorder. So now that the audio recorder is there, so my camera is struggling to focus on that, I'm going to click the button that says voice. Okay. So there's a few things that I need to do in order to make sure that I get a nice clean recording. So the first thing I'm going to do at the top here is I'm going to switch off my metronome. Next thing I'm going to do on the top right is click the plus button. And we found this with year 3 last week. They got so frustrated because we were recording all sorts of things. And they kept on saying, but my recording's finished, it stops, and I kept on having to do it. And that's only because somebody forgot to tell them. So press the plus button, click the section, and then switch it on to automatic. And that means when it gets to the end, it will keep recording for you. Now, you can see at the at the bottom of the screen here, we've got a few buttons we can press. We could go to lead vocals. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to click on where it says narrator. That's the best sort of sound for recording a a voice reading. I'm then going to press done. If you press the fun button, you can see there are all sorts of other things, but I would suggest that what you do is have a clean recording first and then add the fun stuff afterwards. Okay, so next thing I'm going to then do is take you over to the left hand side. So we've got this little input monitor, and what you want to make sure is that the voice stays in the green. If I speak really loudly, you can see it pumps up into the red. We don't want it up there. So I'm going to speak in about this sort of level of voice. So actually, that's not bad at all. So if I speak too loud, you can see it goes into the red, but I'm not going to speak that loud. The buttons I need to know at the top are the red record button. So I'm literally going to tap that, and it's going to count me in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to record. So I'm going to use a bit of Peppa Pig's Christmas. This is the first page of the book, and I'm just going to read everything in there, and then I'm going to show you how I can cut it apart. Right, here we go. It was the beginning of December, and Peppa and her family were decorating their Christmas tree. Peppa pulled a decoration from the Christmas box. It's the prickly cactus we got when Daddy went monster trucking in America, she cried. And here's the flamingo from our summer holiday, said Daddy Pig. What lovely memories, said Mummy Pig, smiling. And then when you're finished, click the stop button. Let's listen to that back again. It was the beginning of December, and Peppa and her family were decorating their Christmas tree. Peppa pulled a decoration from the Christmas box. It's the prickly cactus we got when Daddy went monster trucking in America, she cried. And here's the flamingo from our summer holiday, said Daddy Pig. What lovely memories, said Mummy Pig, smiling. So you can see, now that that's recorded, there's a nice waveform up at the top, so we can see that waveform in the track. If it's too quiet, you'll find that the waveform is really, really tiny. What I can do is pull this little slider out, and then I've got a few little controls, so I can turn the volume up and down should I need to. So there, if I wanted to as well, I can pinch in with 2 fingers, then I can see everything that's going on the screen. So that's your first bit. So if we look at our workshop task, so record your voice. So we did that. That was quite good. That was quite easy. Now, what we find is that if you're recording a podcast, and Stu, you probably, when you were doing your podcast, you might have found that some voices were different levels.
Yeah, very much so. And I was recording in different venues as well, so the echo and the sound reverberated around the rooms differently.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely the case of having to try and adjust that.
So let's not do that, Lauren. Let's look at this. So let's look at how we then chop things up a little bit. When you record, even if you're recording 3 people talking or 2 people talking, it will all go into one track. So you might want to then decide, well, I want to chop things up a little bit. So can you see there, I'm moving the record head with my finger and just dragging it along my recorded track. So Christmas tree. Peppa. So you can then see when there's no wave, that's where there is some silence. So what I'm going to do is place that there. I'm going to tap on that, tap on it again, and I'm going to press the split button. I then get a pair of scissors open on the screen and I pull down. So what I've now got is that split in half. So let's have a listen to it. Peppa pulled a decoration from the Christmas box. It's the prickly. Right, so Peppa pulled a decoration from the Christmas box. So let's cut that. So we can tap on there, split again. It's the prickly cactus we got when Daddy went monster trucking in America, she cried. Right, so this is the narrator bit here. So let's move that along to here, split. Okay, move this along. So it's just the same idea, moving it along. I know what that is.
And here's the flamingo from our summer holiday, said Daddy Pig.
Right, so that's Daddy Pig. Yeah, so split again, and then, oh, let's move that along. You can see we're chopping this up into lots of bits. Split, and...
What lovely memories, said Mummy Pig, smiling.
So I need said Mummy Pig.
Said Mummy Pig.
Oh, that's going to be tricky. So I can zoom in. So that's quite good. So I can zoom in with 2 fingers. That's probably...
Mummy Pig.
Oh, no. Morin. Is it there?
Lovely memories, said Mummy Pig.
So this is where it's a bit tricky sometimes.
Said Mummy Pig.
That the Mummy Pig said. So I'm just going to go about there.
Said Mummy Pig.
Yeah, that'll do. About there-ish. So tap on that and split. So what I can now do, you can see I'm chopped up into lots of parts. So what I want to then do is create maybe a track for the narrator, a track for Peppa Pig, a track for Daddy Pig, and a track for Mummy Pig. It's easy to do that. Tap your finger on that first track where the microphone is. I'll do that again. So literally tap the microphone and then click duplicate. Okay, so that's my first bit. So I'm going to leave the narrator there. This is Peppa Pig, isn't it? Here.
Peppa pulled a decoration from the Christmas box. It's the pretty.
No, that's the bit. So I move that down to there. So I'm just going to do that again. Automate. Oh no, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons, Stu. It's all gone wrong.
Duplicate.
Duplicate, not automate. All right, so, oh God, crazy.
And here's the flamingo.
And that's Daddy Pig. Right, so I think this is Mummy Pig. Right, so,
Duplicate.
thanks, Stu. Elsa, you're not being much help.
I'm just really fascinated. Sorry.
It was the beginning of
I'm
December,
learning a few things
and
whilst
Peppa
I'm doing
and her
this as well.
family were decorating their Christmas tree. Peppa put...
Right, that's brilliant. So what I've then got, this one's called narrator. So if I wanted to, I could tap on this one and rename it. Rename, I'm going to call this one Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig. And then I can click on this one and call this one Daddy Pig. You get the idea? Daddy. And the last one, tap on there, and we'll call this one, rename Mummy Pig. There we go. So we've then got our narrator part at the top. And if we want to just hear the narrator part, you can see these buttons here. That mutes the narrator part. And this one is called solo. So that mutes all the other parts in one hit. So that it makes it quite a lot easier to find the right, or just to isolate one track. Okay, so we're getting there slowly but surely. Right, so let's have a look at what we need to then add. So let's see. So task 2, we're going to add some loops. So what sort of loops do we want to add? Now in mine, I added some Christmas music. So let's have a look at doing that. It's beautiful. Christmas music for a Christmas story. So we're going to use the loop button at the top. So if we tap loops, then you can see I've been having a bit of a play. Stu. Stop chasing Elsa. This is ridiculous. I can't get a staff these days. So we've got lots and lots of sound effects and files that we can add. Now, one of the things you need to know is these are not installed by default. So this is where you go, I don't have any sounds. And all the children go, I don't have any sounds. I can't do it. So if I click go to sound library, you can see that GarageBand are always adding lots of things into their sound packs. Now, I quite like clicking manage packs at the top. And the one that I think is the best, especially if you're going to do some really cool stuff, come on, camera, is I'll just do it this way so you can actually see, is this one here called the Toy Box. The Toy Box has lots and lots of really cool sound effects. So pigs and aeroplanes and monkeys and all sorts of things. And especially younger students really love that. So tap on that, and then where mine says downloaded, yours will say get. So just tap get. Depending on the speed of your internet, it can take a little while to download. We had a struggle last
Especially
week.
when
Elsa,
you're doing
didn't we?
90. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, we were trying to do 90. And
It can take a little bit of time.
yeah,
Depends on the effects pack as well, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
how many different effects are in there and what have you.
so that's where, so it's a really good point, Stu. Some of those effects pack, if I click manage packs and then my camera doesn't want to focus, come on. No, it really doesn't. There we go. Oh no. I'll come out and no, it doesn't, it's struggling to focus today. Sorry
So
about
the
that.
alpha waves is about 290 meg.
Yeah, so
You
290
got
wet
17.
meg is the biggest one. So actually, and 290 meg times 90 iPads
Yeah.
takes a while, doesn't it? Ilsa?
Yeah.
Toy box is 173, so it'll take a while.
The packs take up quite a bit of storage, don't they, on your system?
Yeah.
So
So
it's probably best.
that's another thing to think of. They do take up.
Not
So
to
don't
get a
go
bit
mad.
crazy and download them all.
Yeah, don't do what I've done. I have everything installed, so my GarageBand is quite large. So, okay, so let's add some music. So, let's add some pig sounds. So, that sounds terrible. Let's add some pig sounds. So I'm going to click where it says genres, and I'm going to go to sound effects. I could search pig. Oh, so it's giving me. That sounds like Daddy Pig. Yeah, I think that sounds like Daddy Pig. So we just put a finger on it and then drag it onto a new track. So it's roughly about here. So we can then put that there. So is that Daddy Pig? I think it is.
And here's the flamingo from our summer holiday, said Daddy Pig.
Right. So actually, these are overlapping a little bit. So this is where I quite like my pencil. So I'm going to use my pencil and I'm just going to draw a square around these bits that I want to move. So I'm going to drag them out the road. So so my pig snort then happens at the end of the Daddy Pig bit. And then when my pig snort finishes, I'm just going to then butt that up in there. So it now sounds like this.
Summer holiday, said Daddy Pig. What lovely.
So that's quite nice. So what does Mummy Pig sound like, Ailsa? Like that? No?
Yeah, why not?
All right, okay.
I don't know whether that sounds like Mummy's a bit distressed.
Yeah, it does. So well, let's see what other sound effects then can we find? So sound effects. So as you can see, I did a search, but let's just scroll through and then see what we could find. A car crash? No, not quite. No. So there are loads to go through. Oh, that's quite good. So I'm going to have that crazy kazoo. I'm going to move that, and I'm just going to put that after Mummy Pig. I'm going to move that so that it's just about here, and I'm just going to move this. And now Mummy Pig does this.
What lovely memories, said Mummy Pig, smiling.
It's great.
As you can see, you can have hours and hours of fun.
Endless hours of
stories
fun.
and GarageBand.
Yeah, oh, it's just great. So we could add some loops to this, but I'm going to add some music now. So if I click on the loops and go to where it says music, you can see that I've got lots of music in my library, lots and lots of music. But in order to add it to a GarageBand piece, you're going to have it downloaded. Most of these are not downloaded. So I'm going to I did this yesterday. No, there it is. So this is it's my favorite album at Christmas time called A Charlie Brown Christmas. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to drag it to a new track. Okay, so when I press play.
It was the beginning of December and Peppa and her...
Right, so that sounds really nice, doesn't it? Now, my music track is very long. It's probably a bit too long. So let's just, I'm using 2 fingers on the piece. Now, if I could get my pencil out again, I'm just going to select, press and hold. Can you see my bouncing square? I'm just going to do a bit, go around that. I'm going to move these forward a little bit, just so that I can get a wonderful introduction. Right, so I want that there. I might have, yeah, brilliant. And then we'll put that there. Isn't that wonderful? So there's, I've got my introduction, and then my story starts.
Mark, if you wanted to ungroup them, can you do that easily?
Yes, I can just tap on with my finger and ungroup them, and then I just find it's easier.
Yeah.
So if you use, and quite a lot when you've got, especially the little fingers, you have to press and hold with the pencil or with your finger. And this is why I like the pencil, in that it just gives me a little bit more granular control. So, and if you're lucky enough to have a pencil, it makes it a bit easier. So there's, I've selected them all, and if I can just tap on the screen, they deselect, which is quite nice.
It makes things so much easier though, doesn't it? Moving
Absolutely, moving it all. Now, you can see there that my Tannenbaum is really long, but if I hold, see the little handle at the end, I can move this to the end of the, and just move it roughly to the end of the piece. So let's put it about there, which
What's
is
quite good
nice.
with that is as well, it's not cutting it, it's not deleting anything.
No.
It's just moving the.
So I can move it. I can move it back and forth. Yeah.
As you need to, or as you have more to it.
And this is where it's really good. It's called non-destructive editing. So it means that you can move things about and do whatever you want, and it doesn't make it's not a problem. So what I've got is something that sounds like this. Oh, feels like Christmas. It's not even December yet.
It was the beginning of
Right,
December.
okay, that's quite nice. But as you can probably hear, oh, and you can see, all the volumes are the same. So there's a part of me that says, actually, I need to turn this down, okay? That is better. And I'm then just going to have to wait for my narrator to come in and think, right, okay.
It was the beginning of December, and Peppa and her family were decorating their Christmas tree.
Up a little bit.
Peppa pulled a decoration from the Christmas box.
Right, that's better. So you can play around with the levels. You can go a step further as well, but maybe not for tonight. Not for tonight? Maybe?
Depends what you're going to do.
I might show you, if we've got time, I might show you how to automate the volume moving, which is very cool. Right, anyway, now, as you can see, I've got this lots of additional space. I'm going to get rid of that. So I'm going to click my plus at the top. I'm going to click 140 bars automatic. I'm going to change that to manual now, and I'm just going to make it maybe 20 bars. So that's a bit nicer. I could probably make it 19 bars. I could make it 19 bars. It's beautiful. 19 bars. Oh, yeah. Right. So I had a bit of fun with Peppa Pig in my recording. And you could probably hear that Peppa Pig's, all the characters like Peppa Pig, Daddy Pig, and Mummy Pig all were at different pitches. And it's quite cool what you can do with this. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is a little bit more advanced, but it's not really, but it's still just using your voice, which is very cool. So I'm going to click plus the bottom to add another track. I'm going to scroll along to the keyboard, and where the keyboard is in, when it focuses, camera, maybe if you shut at it, it'll focus. There it is. I'm going to click the button that says sampler, this one here. Right. So the sampler is really easy to use. I'm just going to use the big red button. So that's my big red button there, to record. And I'm going to record. It's the prickly cactus we got when Daddy went monster trucking in America, because that's what Peppa Pig says. So here we go. It's the prickly cactus we got when Daddy went monster trucking in America. So let's have a listen to that. It's the prickly cactus we got when Daddy went monster trucking in America. So I've just pressed C3 in the middle, but if I press C4, it's the prickly cactus we got when Daddy went monster trucking in America. Oh. So you have to be. It's the prickly cactus we got when Daddy went monster trucking in America. I quite like that one. So that's the one I want. It's the prickly cactus we got when Daddy went monster trucking in America. Right. So what I'm going to do, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to press my solo track here. I'm then going to tap my record button. And then it's the prickly cactus we got when Daddy went monster trucking in America. And then press stop. So what I can now do, click my brick wall at the top, and then there's my sample. I want that sample to go about there. So if I switch off this layer, then you can hear what happens. So if I pull that up here. Papa pulled a decoration from the Christmas box. It's the prickly cactus we got when Daddy went monster trucking in America. That's quite funny, isn't it? I quite like that. I had lots of fun doing this yesterday. My wife came in. Does it grey out the bit that you've taken? Yeah. I like it. So you can see that this is the bit here. I've just switched that off. So you see it's greyed out. I could switch it on again, but there's no point. So it's there. So that's what greys it out. So if I tap on there, so it's just mute. Okay. So I need my daddy pig. So I'm going to duplicate that track yet again. So that's something quite cool. We've learned how to do two things today. Oh, yeah, groovy. All right, so I'm then going to click on my little sampler tool, and I'm going to create a new sample. So what does Daddy Pig say? And here's the flamingo from our summer holiday. I think he's got a deep voice. He does? Yeah. You think? Yeah. Well, let's try it. And here's the flamingo from our summer holiday. So what we can also do, if I play that, and here's the flamingo from our, can you see there's a little bit, I can edit that in, I can move that in, so that's quite nice. And here's the flamingo from our summer holiday. So how deep a voice? Deeper still. How deep? Yeah. I think that's a bit too deep and slow. It's a bit, right. And here's the flamingo from our That's not bad. That's not bad. And here's the flamingo. And here's the flamingo. So let's record that. She cried. And here's the flamingo from our summer holiday. So I forgot to mute it. I forgot to solo it. So, but the cool thing is that it should have just recorded that for me. So let's have a listen, shall we? So let's mute Daddy's track, and let's put that at the right place, and let's go. Right. And here's the flamingo from our summer holiday, said Daddy Pig. What? Right. So I could then. I'm going to have to do a little bit of editing and just move these a little. No, Maureen. No. Camera's a bit blurry. Oh no. It's because I keep putting my hand in the way, and I've got my special helpers behind me helping me. Just do movement or something to kind of. Right, so I can move that about, so that's quite nice. And the last one is Mummy. So Mummy's got quite a high-pitched voice, doesn't she? So we duplicate, Bosch, duplicate, and we go back to our sample tool. And what does Mummy Pig say? What lovely memories. What lovely memories. So let's take that out. Let's take that out, and let's get to solo it. Yep. What lovely memories. What lovely memories. What lovely memories. What lovely memories. I like the one back there. What lovely memories. That one. What lovely memories. Oh, no. What lovely memories. No. What lovely memories. What lovely memories. That one. What lovely memories. I like that one. That one. Lovely. Right, I'm going to solo it this time. I'm going to press record. What lovely memories. And that's it. Okay, so hit my brick wall. Tap on here. I'm just going to pull in a little bit. And So let's see, where does she go? She goes about, so if I pull in a little bit, I should be able to get that right to the beginning. Oh, lovely. Right, so here we go. Let's unsolo that. So, and let's mute Mummy Pig. So let's see what it sounds like. There we go.
The decoration from the Christmas box.
It's the trickery cactus we got when Daddy went monster trucking in America.
She cried.
Oh,
And here's the flamingo from our summer holiday,
Said Daddy Pig.
What lovely memories.
Said Mummy Pig, smiling.
so last thing I'm going to then do is I'm going to click my little gear at the top. I'm going to click fade out, because what I want to do is share this with all my friends because it's really fun. So, all right, so that's fine. So I can then zoom that back. I'm just going to press my button at the top, my little file button, and that saves it. I'm going to rename it, press and hold. I'm going to put rename Peppa's Christmas. All right, so we didn't get onto the unicorn bit. And
that's
then,
really important that
yeah,
you and the students get into the habit of doing that, because otherwise you just end up with My Song 94.
yeah, I think as you go down through mine, there are quite a few of my song a lot where I've forgotten to do that. So I think I got to my song 200 at some point. Press and hold, and then what I'm then going to do is click share. I'm going to click song. High quality, keep that as the same. I've got that as my name. I've got a cover image. I might want to choose a photo, so I'm going to click choose a photo. And what photo have I got? I could just choose one. I'll choose that one. There's that one, which is quite nice. So that's lovely. It's got my name on it. It's quite nice. Click share. And then I can then decide where I want it to go. So I'm just going to click open in. It exports the song. And once it's finished exporting, well, depending on the length of the song or the size of the song, it will take a while, or the speed of your iPad. If you've got a slow iPad, it takes a while for it to come out. There it is. It's all done. I'm going to then click save to files. I like saving things first before I then send them anywhere. So save to files, choose where you want it to go. So I can click iCloud Drive. I can then go to my Trust RTC, can't spell. There we go, RTC, press save, and that's it, done. So if I now go to my files and then go to RTC, then you will see my project Peppa's Christmas is there. Isn't
You can't
that
go
great?
back in now and edit it, can you? This is the masterpiece. Or...
This is the finished,
Right, okay.
the export.
It was the beginning of December.
But I can go back into the project and re-edit it, but I would have to re-export it,
Right, okay.
which is a bit of a faff.
But that's also the beauty of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you can share it with someone you're collaborating with, they can give you feedback. And then if there's any areas that you want to improve or tweak, you can.
Yes.
Sometimes I think when we're the creative force, we get a little bit bogged down in what we're doing, and we maybe miss things that could be better sometimes as well.
I'm going to hand over to Ailsa now,
Fantastic.
because she's going to show you what year 3 have been up to, which is very cool.
I am indeed. Oh,
Do you want to-
I need to
Bring your
bring
chair.
my chair.
Here she comes.
Slowly. She's coming. So, yes, I did this.
Oh, you just got to remember not to move it, or else
Oh,
it moves
sorry.
on the camera.
I'm
So
new to all of this.
there you go. There we
Okay,
go.
fantastic. So, yeah, this is a task that actually I did with my class last week, and they use GarageBand to bring their dragon stories to life, which was the first time that they were doing this. But I think the beauty of GarageBand is that you can access it on so many different levels. You can you can do it simply. This was the first time they were learning it. And then you can then master that, and then you can add to it as you go along. So what I'll do is I will try not to move it, but I will play, one of my children's stories. Ooh.
Ice shot out of the dragon's mouth like fireworks exploding as the mysterious creature flew across the land. I wonder what it's doing here. Where did it come from? Will it be my friend or not?
There we go. So as you can see, it was just a shorter piece, but during the task, they actually had quite a lot to master. They had to learn how to use GarageBand because for a lot of them, it was the first time that they were using it. So they had that to master, which they picked up quite quickly, actually, I have to say. And then from there, they then need to think about their stories and the different sound effects that they wanted to include within the story and when they wanted to include it. So yeah, so they actually had quite a lot to think about, but once they did master all of those skills, they actually really enjoyed it and they were really engaged, and GarageBand really transformed their stories, making them more immersive and a lot more enjoyable for the audience.
What was really exciting was though that they'd written these stories, but then they had to bring them to life.
Absolutely.
They had to speak them. They had to record them, and that was really exciting.
Very exciting, and they really enjoyed it so much. It was interesting trying to sort of move them off the task, but we're going to do it again next week. They've written poems, and they're going to use GarageBand again, and it'll be interesting to see now that they've mastered using GarageBand. What more they can do with using
Absolutely.
it. So.
Yeah. I think it was really exciting.
Really exciting.
They were everywhere, weren't they? We had some of them outside in the leaves.
They were, yeah. They were making it because I think obviously Toy Box has got so many different sound effects in it, but they were quite creative that they made their own. If they couldn't find the sound effect, they also made their own. So they went out and they recorded sort of rustling in the leaves, and they really used the environment, and it was amazing what they came up with, the sounds that they created and putting it all together. And I think they really enjoyed sharing what they had created with the rest of the class and everybody listening to it. And yeah, it was a really enjoyable task.
It was lovely. It was really lovely seeing them all doing that. Yeah.
I shall pass you back over to Mark now.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
That's brilliant.
I will move my chair this time.
And we're back. Right, so where we go. So GarageBand is not nearly as scary as you might think it is.
Absolutely not.
So I think we've taken you through how to edit as well. So you can see we've taken all of these ideas, how to just record something in, cut it apart, add some sound on it, add some music. And actually, as you saw, I didn't add very much, and neither did Ailsa, one of our students in their piece either. And I think that is really important, because sometimes we found, didn't we, that some of them went mad, didn't they?
Absolutely, and then you overcome and you lose the impact that you want to create.
There's too much in it, and it's bonkers actually what comes out their end, and so you've got to get them to rein that in a little bit.
But I've also used GarageBand creatively, not just for stories and podcasts, but I've used it to provide backing tracks for teaching videos and presentations that I've done on other platforms like ThingLinks and Keynote and what have you, where I've wanted to just put a little bit of background sound, so it's not just silence and it's not just me talking, there's something else in the background going as well.
Absolutely.
So actually using GarageBand to create the podcast has helped me understand how to put things together that little bit more creatively to give it something that attaches to it.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the first things we said, that music it conjures up memory for you, and sound conjures up memory. And actually, Ailsa and I were talking about that process, weren't we?
Absolutely.
It's not just writing a story anymore. It's about all these different ideas. So it's a cold dragon, it's a hot dragon. Where does it live? What's the weather like? Can you incorporate that into your piece? And it's just really quite amazing when you look at how much the young people need to think about when they're creating these things.
And I think for students, especially maybe that struggle with their written expression, that can be really challenging to put that sort of context into a written story, especially at the younger years.
Absolutely.
If you can do it through sound and creativity, it just makes it come to life, and you can express yourself in so many different ways without having to put pen to paper.
Absolutely.
In the same way, you can get the same message across.
Absolutely.
Paint that picture in a different way.
And yours did write them down first, didn't they?
They did, yeah. But they all, they all accessed it on a different level. So I think that is the beauty of GarageBand, that you can access it on so many different levels.
It's lovely.
Absolutely.
So you can see the lovely thing about it is that if you get it wrong, you can delete it and start again. You don't need to worry about it. It's so accessible. All these different sounds are already baked into GarageBand, so you've got access to all of these different things. Better put the right camera on. That's probably better, isn't it?
I think that's what the children really like. The fact that, speaking to a lot of the children, if they do make a mistake, I think they can go and edit it and go back, and I think that's the beauty of it. Rather than if you write something down, it's different.
Yeah. I think that's where actually, with all of these things, when you start using technology, everything is that non-destructive editing or destructive editing, but actually nobody knows you've destroyed your work.
Yeah.
Whereas there's nothing worse than looking at a book and it's all scribbled out and got bits through it, and children don't like seeing that, and they don't like to share that with others, and that's why I think the technology really helps.
And the other benefit is if you do delete something or you change something and it doesn't work, just use the undo arrow and go back a stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can get back to it fairly easily.
Yeah.
As well, so you can try things, you can be creative. Oh, I don't like that. Undo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Just as long as you remember how far back you need to, maybe. Anyway, so your job for this week, using the Chapter 1 guide from Everyone Can Create, everything that we've just shown you here is the podcast guide. Why don't you create a podcast or a short audio story or an interview and have a go at doing that for yourself, and then add it to your Everyone Can Create workbook, and we'll give you a link to upload your workbooks to at the end of the sessions. So as I said, everything can be found on the Chapter 1, so creating a short podcast, from page 6. So all the stuff that we've done this evening, when you switch this off and think, oh, I can't remember how to do it, it's all in the book and it's all chunked down really simple for you. For those of you that want to get other ideas, then maybe take yourself to the Everyone Can Create teacher guide, because there are integration ideas on page 135 and 136. And it's not just about music, it's about maths, literacy, literature, social sciences, science, coding, all these different things that you could, if you're creative enough, add music to, or think about what we can do to emphasize those elements and deepen student learning. So you can see all these different ideas in there that actually it's a really lovely way of just putting things together. For those of you that are early learners teachers, you can see there are lots of ideas from page 126 to 132 in the teacher guide, and there's some, they're just really simple but super effective ideas. So we have been running 5 sessions, so this is the 5th session. We've done drawing, we've done photo, we've done video with clips, and we've done music. And I think we've hit everything. We had another session for music, but I think we've covered it all tonight, haven't we, guys?
Pretty much.
I think we have. Yeah. So what we would say is that what we're going to do is sign off for this half term, We're going to publish some ideas by email and on Twitter and Instagram. If you have ideas of sessions you would like us to run, could you just reply to our posts? That would be great, or reply to our emails. We've had some issues with emails vanishing, so please check your junk mail and make sure that our emails aren't going into your junk. But I hope you found these sessions helpful. They're not just for creatives, they're for everybody. And that, I think, is really, really something to remember. So we are the Prospect Trust Apple RTC. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great Christmas and lovely New Year, and we'll see you very early in the new year. So goodbye from me and goodbye from these two in the back.
Goodbye from us. Have a lovely Christmas.
Okay.